on Fox 16.
Fourth and 17. That one is intercepted again. Hudson Clark's got another one.
He's got a hat trick.
What a win for Sam Pittman and his Arkansas team. Just amazing. The turnaround for this program is unlike many we've seen in recent college football history.
Well, how about them Hogs? What a win last night. And you know, to be honest with you, if I told you that the Razorbacks were going to pick off the best offense in the SEC 6 times, you know what, you'd probably call me crazy. You'd want me fired before the game started. But guess what? I knew that the Razorback defense was good, but I didn't think they were that good. Arkansas got its second win of the season last night, taking down Ole Miss 33-21 at home. And when we talk about the good and the bad, the defense was as good as it gets. Let's read the stat line. 11 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions, 2 pick sixes, 2 goal line stops, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a partridge in a pear tree. I need to catch my breath after that. Just unreal numbers all over the board. Hudson Clark had 3 of the picks. A redshirt freshman who's not even on a scholarship. He did it one other time, but that was all the way back in high school. And Coach Pittman said it's time to be scared of the Hogs defense.
I was planning on getting 7 when the game started, but we'll take 6.
I love playing football. I love being a Razorback. I love going out there getting wins like that.
Corral had 1 interception going in today, and we picked him 6 times. So that's coaching and that's players learning and obviously being able to get it done as well.
Coach Carter has been telling us all week that we had a chance to be one of the best secondaries to come through Arkansas. And we were just able to, throughout practice, we got a lot of picks in practice. So that was I mean, it's different on the field, but that was definitely a confidence booster.
So if you didn't know who Hudson Clark was before yesterday, you definitely know who he was now. Let's talk about the good. Yeah, and TREYLON BURKS was the definition of it. He was glad to be back in the Arkansas uniform, basically the lone bright spot in the offense last night. He caught 11 passes for 137 yards, and this touchdown catch, that was SportsCenter's #1 play last night. He got injured in the Mississippi State game, and then he also missed the Auburn game last week. And Coach Pittman said that he wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to play this week at the beginning of practice. But Coach said that his play last night was huge.
He's just a leader. I love him. You know, he's a very physical guy, made some big plays out there. You know, you could see the rust on him a little bit too from not being healthy for the last couple of weeks. But he's a competitor. He loves Arkansas.
I think we all love Arkansas right now. All right, let's rip the bad off like a Band-Aid. Not going to sugarcoat this one. The Razorbacks, they fell asleep a little bit. Let's not lie to each other. They led by 12 with 6.5 left in the 4th quarter, and they give up a fake punt. And the Rebels, they eventually scored on that play later in the drive to keep Ole Miss in the game. Yes, the Razorbacks, they were up 20-0 at halftime, but you never felt like the game was over. Arkansas's offense should have put up more points against arguably the worst defense in the SEC to put the game out of reach earlier, but hey, Coach Pittman says it is what it is.
Obviously, the defense made another big stop on that, Nate. I mean, and went back and scored, and then they stopped them again. Clark picked another one, and then we finally got our running game going and ran it down to the 1-yard line. There was no reason to score at that point. We're just trying to go celebrate at that point.
Real classy move. And, you know, of course, after a win, we're not even close to being done talking about the Hogs. That's right. We're bringing Anthony Lucas back, baby. You remember his game-winning catch to beat #3 Tennessee. That was all the way back in 1999. We're going to talk to him about the big win last night, so do not go anywhere. You know, ever since we brought Anthony Lucas onto the show, the Razorbacks, they've been pretty good. So you know what? We're going to keep the tradition alive. Anthony, welcome on back. It's always great to see you, my man.
Hey, Troy, thank you for having me. So glad to be on today. And, man, what an exciting time for Razorback football.
It really is. It's always more exciting to talk the next day after a win. But I'm curious, how big do you think this win was? Because they hadn't won in Razorback Stadium in a long time.
It's big for our program, and you know, Coach Pittman, you heard about the tears by him, the emotions that he shows. It's really big for a program. And I love how he always thanks the fans, man, and he thanks the players. He just thanks everybody, and I'm big on that. And so it's huge, man. There are a lot. I've been on Twitter the past couple of days just looking, and I don't post a whole lot, but I've seen a lot of just congrats and how about Razorback football. So it's great.
You know, before the season, Sam Pittman said it was his dream job, and it's nice to know that his dreams coincide with wins so far, but he can't do it without the players, and he got a couple of really good players return last night. I'm talking about TREYLON, BURKS, and Rakeem Boyd. How do you think those two players played?
I think coming back, off injury and doing what they did, it was big. The kids rally around Rakeem Boyd and TREYLON BURKS because those guys are leaders, they're playmakers, and so it was great having those two guys back on the field and just adding more weapons. Adding those weapons back on offense made a huge difference. So I was happy to see those guys out there.
Yeah, the offense, they did a pretty good job. They were hit and miss at some times, but you know what? Talking about the defense, you can name almost anybody, and they could be your MVP. But now we need to hear who your MVP is. We've had the defense. Last week, I think it was Treylon Smith. Who are we talking about against from last night?
Oh, you got to give it to Hudson Clark. I mean, it's simple. 3 picks. You know what I like about that kid? He plays the football very well. I mean, the one he broke on when he was kind of like a yard off, and he broke on, I think it was his second pick, second or third. But the way he broke on the football, man, I was like, God, he looked like a wide receiver going to get the football. And he's playing with a lot of emotions. No one knew about this kid a couple weeks ago, but now they know about him now, and he's going to continue to get better. But that's my hat goes off to Coach Odom and his defensive staff and what they've done on that side of the football. Because when your defense is playing well, the offense feeds off of that. And offensively, we're still trying to find our niche there. We're getting better though. You can see some things that we're improving at. So, but big game ball goes to Hudson Clark. He was outstanding.
I mean, the defense in a whole last night was just flat out impressive. 6 interceptions, 2 of them for pick sixes, 2 goal line stops. They broke up passes. They did it all. When's the last time you've seen a Razorbacks defense be this good?
It's been some years. It really has been. And I mean, like you said, that defensive stop on the goal line was huge for us, so huge for us. But it's been a while. I hadn't seen it in a while, and things are starting to gel defensively and come around, and an offense is going to continue to gel, I think, week in and week out. And I know I say it all the time. We're still finding it on offense, and once we can put those two together and along with special teams, man, I think we got a bright. It's going to be a bright future for Razorback football. But the steps we're making are in the right direction.
Absolutely.
That's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. It was funny watching all those interceptions. I kind of thought that you might have been coaching the defense on how to catch the ball.
Oh, man, those guys are good. I'm telling you, Callan, boy, he is a playmaker. I mean, Hudson. I mean, it's just they play lights out. They're flying to the football, too, and, they're keeping things right in front of them. And whenever they see the ball, they're reacting. And that's what you want right there. It's just guys. You want 11 guys flying to the ball, and they've done a really good job. And I hope we're getting a week off, so we get guys that are hurt to let them get them some more rest, and hopefully be ready for the next game in 2 weeks. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited about it right now. Last question for you before I let you go so you can spend some quality time with your daughters and your family. But how many more games do you see the Razorbacks winning the rest of the season? Because it almost seems like everybody's fair game at this point.
Yeah, everybody is. I mean, with the way the SEC is going now, everybody is. But, oh, Troy, can I just take it one day at a time, one game at a time? I told you this from the beginning. I didn't want to say, hey, Arkansas is going to win this.
Right.
I'm going to say this. Let's just win the next game. However, I did call it. I told you that we will sweep the state of Mississippi. And big ups to the Razorback Nation and to our Hog football team, man. We swept Mississippi. So I'm looking forward to Texas A&M, though. We owe them a lot. I mean, they've been putting it on us here past couple of years. So I can't wait for that football game. It's going to be exciting.
Hey, man, that's why we always like talking to Anthony. You always have the great predictions and the great expertise. And thanks again for joining us for another week.
No doubt. Thank you guys for having me. Go Hogs.
Go Hogs indeed. Anthony, thanks so much. Hey, coming up right after the break, we're going to talk to Scooter Register about a little high school football week 7. Don't miss it on the Final Score.
On Fox 16.
7 weeks down and only 3 to go in the high school football regular season. And of course, let's bring in Scooter Register, who has over 40 years of coaching high school football in the Natural State. And Scooter, we got some big games to talk about. But first, we got to give a shout out to the Razorbacks, right?
Yeah, listen, what a great win for Arkansas, and I tell you, just you gotta love it because he's winning with kids that hadn't played much, and I tell you that it's just it was incredible. I tell you the thing I liked about it was just the pursuit on defense yesterday, how they pursued to the football. Of course, they intercepted 6 passes, but it's just a thing of joy, and everybody from the fans to the players to the coaching staff, the entire state of Arkansas is excited. And I tell you, I think everybody wanted to get that paper this morning and read about it. I know that.
Absolutely.
So great win. I tell you, Sam Pittman was doing a wonderful job with that program. Unbelievable.
I was just about to say Sam Pittman is a magic man right now, but let's talk about some high school football. And North Little Rock, they're on a magical streak right now, still undefeated, and they came out firing against the Catholic Rockets. They took that win 49-10. Scooter, I was at that game, but what'd you think?
Well, they had an extra week to get ready for Catholic, and so their kids were prepared. And Coach Eldridge said that they were probably as well prepared for this game as they have been all year, and they came out and scored 28 points in the first quarter and pretty much took Catholic out of the ball game. But it was the same guys that are getting the ball. They're playmakers. Kareem Cotton, the quarterback, had 3 touchdown passes. Chris Jefferson had 6 receptions for 2 touchdowns and almost 200 yards. And so scoring on their first 4 possessions, they were focused. So pretty much took Catholic out. Catholic's got a good football team, but North Little Rock just came out firing all guns, and they were just pretty much won the ball game in the first half. So hats off to Coach Eldridge and what he's doing in North Little Rock.
Yeah, North Little Rock was really hard to stop on Friday night. Catholic, like you said, a good team. But let's talk about Joe T. Robinson and Malvern. The Senators, man, they just needed a win. They lost the last 2 weeks, which from a reigning state champ you don't see very often, but they got the win. It wasn't pretty, but 35-13 against Malvern.
Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is, as you mentioned, Joe T. needed a win. They'd lost 2 in a row. They were 3-3 going in. But first thing I want to say is hats off to J.D. Plumley at Malvern for bringing his team up here. They were undermanned. I know he left several players at home for COVID-related issues. He was not at full strength, but his kids played hard, and that's a tribute to him and the program he's building at Malvern. And so Joe T. got it going in the second half. I think the score was 7-6 at the half, and then Joe T. came out and the coach Plumley said to Malvern they just ran out of gas. But it was a very competitive game, and we've got an insurgence of another team in that Ashdown is suddenly on the scene in that 4-7A. So they're 6-1, and so Joe T's gonna have their work cut out the last 3 weeks of the season. So, but a big win for Joe T, and again, hats off to the effort the Malvern Leopards put on Friday night out at Joe T.
Yeah, it was a very competitive game. Can't say the same thing about the Bryant Southwest game, though. That final score, 70-0. Obviously, Bryant, the best team in the Natural State. They're one of the best teams in the country right now. But I think the biggest storyline was with the Griffins. They hadn't played since September 11th, over a month ago. It was just a tough break to kind of get Bryant when they come back.
Yeah, anytime you got to face Bryant, you need to be at full strength, and you need to have played, and again, a tough assignment out there. But Bryant, Coach James is doing a great job with that program, and a lot of people are going to say he ran the score up, but his players have to play and they have to keep their edge, and so he started I think one possession in the second half. Of course, it was a running clock the whole second half, but the Griffins just going to have to keep their chin up. They've met a powerful football team, and like I say, and we'll get to that in just a minute, but Brian's got a big game coming up this week, so it was important for him to play, get his team back to game ready and mentally sharp. So moving forward, it was a big win for Bryant.
Big win for Bryant. Southwest in their first season ever. A lot of growing pains for them. But I know you wanted to talk about that Bryant-Cabot game. Unfortunately, we only have time to talk about one. And I want to talk about Pulaski Academy versus Little Rock Christian. That's set to be a great game.
Yeah, it's a big battle on Highway 10 Friday night. Little Rock Christian has won the last 2 regular season games, but PA won the state championship last year.
Right.
This is a backyard battle royale because these guys see each other every day. They talk to each other every day, and so now they're going. PA's got to go play at Little Rock Christian on Friday night. Should be a great ball game. 2 great coaches, 2 great programs, and I'm sure all eyes will be focused on that ball game here in Pulaski County on Friday night.
Woo! I cannot wait. That is going to be a fantastic game. Obviously, Pulaski Academy still undefeated on the season, but you never can count out Little Rock Christian. Hey, Scooter, thanks again. Thanks again for joining us. We always appreciate your expertise and coming on and joining us every Sunday.
But I appreciate you having me. Have a great rest of the day and a great week. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Scooter. Hey, do not stop watching because we know you are hungry for some top plays, and after the break, we feast. You're watching The Final Score. All right, it's that time of the night again. I'm not going to waste your time. We have the top plays coming your way, and after these 3 top plays, you're going to look like Patrick Starr, shocked. But let's take out this one. UCA taking on Missouri State, and DeAndre Lamont picks off Jaden Johnson, and it's a pick 6. First touchdown of the game for the Bears. You know what? They were rolling after that. They beat the other Bears 33-24. Play number 2, North Little Rock scored a lot against Catholic, but their defense was rocking it against the Rockets. Check out Ricky Reed fighting and juggling for the interception, and ta-da! He somehow comes away with it. An incredible catch. He had 2 picks in the first quarter, and that was actually our Fearless Friday play of the week. But there was no play better than this one. You know what I'm talking about. In SportsCenter, they agree with me. Here's Arkansas's motto on offense. When nothing works, throw it to TREYLON BURKS. A one-handed touchdown catch in the corner. It's a masterpiece. Mwah! And it gave the Hogs some points that they desperately needed. Hogs, they went on to beat Ole Miss 33-21. And that was to get their first home SEC win since November of 2016. So it was a long time coming. Hey, unfortunately, we have run out of sports to talk about, so we're going to end it right here. Thanks so much for watching. Ronnie says goodbye. Chris says goodbye. Hayden, Kristen, everybody in production says goodbye. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week on The Final Score.